Hello students, my name is Fahim and today we are going to talk about irrationality of square root of 2. In fact, we are going to prove that square root of 2 is an irrational number. But before I start explaining, before we start writing down the proof, let us just revise our basics. So what were the irrational numbers? Or for that matter, we will just revise what were the rational numbers. Now what were the rational numbers? Rational numbers were any real numbers which can be expressed in the fraction form as P upon Q, where P and Q both are integers. Now students, mind the fact that P and Q both have to be integers, because in the past I have seen several students doing this mistake very often. They say I can express root 2 as a rational number by writing it in the form square root of 2 upon 1. What they keep forgetting is that P has to be an integer. They just focus on the denominator and write anything as something upon 1. But they keep forgetting that P has to be an integer. You can see we do not know until now that we haven't proved that root 2 is irrational. We are proving it in fact. But we can see that certainly P is not an integer. So this is a very trivial mistake which students do often do cross question. So let's forget this. We'll move on. One more note. We are going to prove this statement. We are going to prove this result using the indirect method. Now we revised that. We know that there were two methods for proving mathematical statements. One was the direct method and one was the indirect method. In the direct method, we directly start applying algebraic results, analytic results, logically, step by step, methodically. We reach the conclusion. We reach the statement we actually want to prove. But what do we do in the indirect method? In the indirect method, our first statement is actually an assumption, and the assumption is the opposite of what we want to prove. Opposite of it, the negation, and then we start applying logical statements and reach a contradiction. Now, what is exactly that contradiction is? Something which contradicts our basic common sense in mathematics. Now, as soon as you reach that contradiction, what will that imply? It implies that the first step we started with, the first assumption, is actually wrong, which will in fact help us in proving our theorem. So, mind you that this theorem is proved using indirect method, and we'll just start it now. Okay, so we are going to use the indirect method. So, as I said, in the indirect method, we are going to assume the negation of this. We want to prove that square root of 2 is irrational. Let's assume that square root of 2 is a rational number. Let's assume that root 2 is rational. Now, if root 2 is rational, we can always write a rational number as something upon something, where both some things are integers. So I can always write, therefore root 2 can be expressed in the form a by b, where both a and b are integers. Mind you that both a and b have to be in their lowest forms. I hope we remember that what is the lowest form in the fractions. Suppose if we have the fraction 21 upon 14, we can reduce it to its lowest form, and the lowest form will be 3 by 2. So mind you that root 2 expressed as a rational number in the form a by b is in its lowest form, which means that they do not have any common factors. 3 by 2 does not have any common factors. 21 by 14 does have, and that was 7. We cancel it out. So remember this. This will prove essential, very useful in the last part of the theorem, in the proof. Okay, as soon as I write square root of 2 as a by b, we can always square it and simplify stuff. So we can always write a square as 2b square. We just squared it and just cross multiply. Now we have reached a very important step. You can see that a square is 2 times something. Forget about b square, it doesn't even matter in this step. But we can say a square is twice something, 2 times something, which implies that a square is even. So what does this imply? A square is even. Now if a square is even, we can clearly say that a is also even. So I can always write a is even to. Why did we say that? Why did we write that? Because square of any even integer has to be even. So if a square is even, a is even. Now whenever we reach the such statements in mathematics, what we basically do is, if a is even, put it as some 2m, put it as some 2k, 2t, 2n. So I'll just put a. So let's put a as some 2k, where k is any integer. Remember that k is also an integer. K is also this is, what does this symbol mean? That k belongs to the set of all integers. We remember that this symbol belongs to is a symbol from set theory. So k is an integer and a can be expressed as 2 by k. Now what should we do next? Now we have a square as 2b square, a as 2k. The very next logical step is just to substitute in this equation. Let me call this equation as equation 1. We'll put this in equation 1, and what we'll get is, just square it and see what we'll get. 4k square equal to 2b square. You can see, simplify, we will get b square as 2k square. Now we have reached something which was very similar we encountered in the first part of this proof. See, a square as 2b square and b square as 2k square. What we did here is, as soon as we saw a square was 2b square, we wrote that a square is even. We have reached a similar step. B square as product of 2 into something, which is clearly implying that b square is even. Now there is some similarity in both parts. We'll see what kind of help they are providing. Both parts are providing. So we can write b square is even. Again, if b square is even, b has to be even. So it implies b is also even. Now this step and this one, remember, I just marked them. Step number 2 and step number 3. I mean statement number 2 and statement number. Just look carefully. A is even to b is also even. Now in the first part of the proof, in the first statement, we said that a by b was in its lowest form. What does being in lowest form mean? That they do not have any common factors. But as soon as we saw that a is also even, b is also even, it implies that a by b cannot be in its lowest form, because 2 can always be cut. So it implies that these two statements are contradicting the first statement, because a and b both have to be in the lowest form, which clearly isn't the case from the first two parts. So what can we say? We have reached a logical contradiction. We have reached a contradiction which is contradicting the common sense we have in our axioms of mathematics, and hence with this indirect method of assuming the negation of the statement and reaching one contradiction helps to establish the theorem. And hence we can say that square root of 2 is irrational, which is not rational. But of course remember that root 2 is a real number. Thank you.